You drift weightlessly in the vast silence, surrounded by the endless blackness of space. Here, in this infinite void, the stars seem small, distant, like pinpricks of light in a cosmic sea. Far below you, the curve of planets is barely visible, yet they hold you in their delicate embrace, like a heartbeat in the stillness. But it is not the planets you seek today, it is the asteroids, the silent wanderers of the universe, ancient treasures adrift in time. You and your team are cosmic prospectors. There's no rush, no hurried steps, only a gentle, measured approach to the discovery ahead. The rocks you seek are not of this world, nor are they of any known age. They are relics of a distant past, remnants of a time when planets were still forming, when the universe itself was young and uncertain. These metallic bodies are more than just space debris. They are fragments of ancient stories, waiting to be understood. In the calm of your spacecraft, you feel a quiet sense of anticipation. Your gaze drifts to the viewfinder. Ahead, a distant rock floats in the darkness. A massive asteroid, its surface scarred by the violence of space. Seems still, but you know it holds movement within, a slow spin, an eternal orbit around the sun. The quiet excitement hums in the air, the feeling that you are standing on the edge of discovery. The asteroid is not much to look at, just a jagged rock in the void, but to your team it is everything. For within its surface could lie metals more precious than gold, rare minerals that could fuel the future. Your fingers graze over the console in front of you, gently adjusting the trajectory, preparing for a smooth approach. There is no need to hurry. In space, time stretches like the very distance between stars. As the spacecraft draws closer, the surface of the asteroid becomes more defined. Its craters, scars, and ridges reveal a history older than any civilization, older than the Earth itself. These rocks have been drifting in space for billions of years, untouched by time's swift march. And now they hold a secret. Perhaps it is gold or platinum, or even rare elements that could change everything we know about the universe. Your heart beats with the rhythm of anticipation, but your mind remains calm, focused. This is no rush to riches. It is a slow dance with the cosmos, a measured understanding that some things take time to reveal themselves. The asteroid is patient, as is the universe. You feel a deep sense of gratitude, knowing that you are part of a larger journey, one that spans millennia. Your team watches in silence as the asteroid looms larger, closer now. The radio hums softly with the voice of the captain, a gentle reminder of the tasks ahead. There is no need for loud commands or excited chatter. This is a journey that requires only patience and awareness. Every motion is calculated, deliberate. The team moves with quiet efficiency, preparing for the next step in the process. As your spacecraft orbits the asteroid, you look out at the void again. The stars seem to blink in and out of existence, but the silence remains constant, enveloping you in its vast, unbroken rhythm. Time feels like a distant thing here, as though the minutes and hours are not quite as important as the act of being, of existing in this space, in this moment. There is a certain reverence in this stillness. You are not just a visitor to the universe. You are a part of it, deeply intertwined with its ancient forces. The very air around you feels sacred, the silence profound. You feel connected to the stars, to the planets, to the asteroids that float endlessly in the darkness. This is not just a search for minerals or metals. This is a search for meaning, a search for the very origins of the universe itself. The asteroid, now only a few kilometers away, begins to reveal more of its character. The shadows of craters shift slowly as your spacecraft orbits, casting an ethereal glow over the jagged surface. It is a lonely, silent world, yet it seems full of possibility. In that moment, you feel both infinitesimal and infinite, small yet part of something so much larger. Your instruments begin to hum, gently analyzing the asteroid's surface. Sensors are deployed, sending soft pulses that bounce back from the rock's surface. Data floods in, and your team begins to scan for minerals, metals, and hidden secrets. The excitement builds, but it remains measured, controlled. It is not about the discovery itself, but the journey of discovery, the act of learning something new about the universe. The asteroid holds many secrets, but there is one thing you know for sure. It is a treasure, not just for its materials but for the knowledge it may hold. This rock has been drifting for billions of years, watching as stars were born, as planets formed, as civilizations rose and fell. It has witnessed the cosmos in ways that you can only begin to imagine. In the stillness, you realize that you are part of this ancient process. You are a cosmic prospector, seeking the treasures hidden in the dark, silent corners of the universe. But the true treasure, you realize, is not the metal or the minerals. It is the journey itself, the quiet, measured dance with the cosmos. As your spacecraft prepares to land on the asteroid's surface, the final piece of the puzzle falls into place. You are ready to begin the next phase of your exploration. The discovery is only just beginning, and as you touch down, you feel a deep, profound connection to the universe. An eternal bond between the past and the future, a quiet realization that you are part of something much larger than yourself. You drift silently toward the surface of the asteroid, its rough texture just visible in the vast darkness. The cold emptiness of space stretches in every direction. Yet here, on this ancient rock, time feels both distant and immediate. As you draw closer, the small, craggy world reveals itself. A scatter of metal and stone, its surface pocked with marks that tell tales older than any living memory. The asteroid, a relic from the early days of the solar system, seems to pulse with a quiet energy. You are not the first to touch its surface. Countless meteors and cosmic winds have brushed against it, carving it into the shape it carries today. Each crater and crack, each jagged edge, whispers of the violent forces that once shaped it. The surface beneath your fingertips feels rough and cool, like the skin of a forgotten ancient creature. Each movement across it is a journey through the distant past. You can almost hear the echoes of time, the colliding forces that once sent this fragment hurtling through the void, surviving the birth of planets, the creation of moons, and the endless dance of celestial bodies. In the stillness, the asteroid feels almost alive. Its metallic scent, faint yet distinct, rises to meet you as if it carries the stories of its travels through the cosmos. Your touch gently traces the uneven surface, finding familiar patterns in the chaos of its form. The metal speaks to you in its silent way, telling you that it is not just a chunk of rock, but a piece of history, a witness to the creation of worlds. You pause to examine one particular mark, a deep gouge in the rock's surface. It is a scar left by a collision long ago, a violent impact that shaped this asteroid, perhaps even sending it on its journey across the stars. This crater, like so many others scattered across its surface, is a reminder that this rock has been a part of something far larger. A force that has been part of the solar system's formation, an object formed from the same chaos that gave birth to the planets themselves. The asteroid is made of materials so old, they predate the Earth, the Sun, and even the planets. These metals, nickel, iron, and silicates, are the building blocks of the universe, remnants of the cloud of gas and dust that once swirled around the young sun. Every fracture, every deep gouge, tells the story of those early days, when the solar system was a hot, violent place filled with collisions and chaos. The asteroid has weathered that turmoil, preserved as a time capsule, waiting to share its secrets. As you explore further, you notice the peculiar surface features, ridges, crevices, and glimmering veins of metal. Each one carries a story, a snapshot of an ancient time when the forces of nature were still shaping the universe. There is no wind to erode these scars, no weather to soften their edges. This is a place untouched by time, a frozen witness to the birth of everything that followed. The beauty of it is in the stillness. There is no hurry here, no rush to move forward. The asteroid doesn't need to prove anything. It simply is a fragment of the early solar system that has survived the ages, holding its secrets close. As you run your hand over its surface, you are not just touching rock. You are touching the past, the very raw materials of the planets and moons that would one day form. In this quiet moment, you realize that the asteroid is not just a relic of the past. It is also a key to understanding the future. The metals and minerals you touch are the same elements that will one day fuel future space exploration, that will be mined and used by future generations of explorers. These rocks hold the potential to help us understand more than just the past. They hold the answers to the questions we have yet to ask. You take a deep breath, the silence around you profound. The rock beneath your fingertips feels steady, eternal even, but you know that it, too, is a part of a greater cycle. From the birth of stars to the slow dance of galaxies, everything is in motion, everything is evolving. This asteroid, as old and silent as it may seem, is part of that cosmic rhythm. Its stillness is the quiet before the next great shift, the calm that precedes the next discovery. As you pull your hand back, your gaze lingers on the jagged surface, a reminder that the universe is filled with ancient stories waiting to be told. The asteroid remains as it has for eons, a testament to the passage of time, and yet, in its quiet way, it whispers of new beginnings, of the potential to unlock mysteries that are older than the Earth itself. The weight of the past rests heavy on your mind, but there is a strange comfort in knowing that the answers to the greatest questions are all around you. The universe has no hurry, and neither should you. The answers will come in their own time as they always have. And as you look out into the endless expanse of space, you can feel that the story of this ancient rock is only just beginning. The asteroid remains as it was, still, ancient, and yet filled with untold secrets. Its story will continue, perhaps not through you, but through the endless curiosity that it inspires in those who dare to touch its surface. And perhaps, in time, you too will find the answers you seek. Just as this asteroid, once a wandering fragment, will one day find its place in the vast narrative of the universe. The universe opens before you, vast and quiet, yet brimming with unseen wealth. Asteroids float like ancient ships adrift in the cosmic sea, their surfaces marked with time. These unassuming rocks, far from the glowing planets, hold within them treasures not of gold, but of substances far more precious. Metals and elements that humankind has only dreamed of. You feel the pull of discovery as you gaze at the dark, craggy surface of an asteroid ahead. In your mind, you picture the riches concealed within. Precious metals like platinum, nickel, and gold. Rare elements like iridium and rhodium. Metals so rare they might change the course of civilization itself. Your thoughts dance through the possibilities. New alloys, new technologies. The promise of sustainable resources beyond Earth's strained supply. The excitement you feel is not just for the materials, but for what these materials represent. A new chapter in human history, a quiet revolution, unfolding not on our home planet, but in the cold, silent reaches of space. This is the gold rush of the future, a treasure hunt where the stakes are not wealth and coins, but the very tools to build a better world. You let your imagination wander through the silent landscape of this alien treasure trove. Each asteroid could be a reservoir of untapped resources, minerals that might fuel energy revolutions, elements that could make space travel more efficient, metals that might heal our planet's wounds. You sense the enormity of it all, the power these silent, frozen bodies hold. A slow, calming thrill vibrates through you. This is a moment of reflection, as you imagine the impact of these discoveries. It's not just the thrill of the find, it's the quiet knowledge that every asteroid holds the key to something bigger, something that could redefine what it means to live on Earth. The materials hidden here are more than just useful. They represent the delicate dance between technology and nature, between humanity and the cosmos. You think of the people who will mine these treasures, the engineers, the scientists, the dreamers. Their quiet work will set the stage for the unfolding of humanity's next great leap. You imagine their anticipation as they prepare to extract, not coins or jewels, but the raw materials that could fuel industries, that could help create new technologies, new paths for civilization. In this calm, almost meditative silence, you feel yourself drawn into the rhythm of the cosmos. The steady motion of asteroids in their slow, eternal orbits, like the ticking of a cosmic clock, brings a sense of peace. Yet, beneath that stillness, there is a palpable tension, a moment of waiting, a breath held in anticipation of what is to come. You prepare for the next step, knowing that the act of mining these asteroids will not just unearth materials, but will unearth a new way of thinking, a way of seeing the universe, not as a collection of distant stars, but as a vast repository of resources. The next great frontier is not just about exploration, it's about transformation. And now you feel the pull of that transformation. The knowledge that the future is not far off, that humanity stands on the precipice of something incredible. In this moment of quiet anticipation, you prepare for the next stage in this journey, the moment when treasure becomes reality. As your thoughts quiet and your anticipation deepens, you begin to wonder, what is it about these materials that makes them so powerful? What hidden properties could these asteroids reveal when they are finally unearthed? You stand in the softly lit control room of your mining ship, the gentle hum of machinery a constant, calming presence. Around you, shadows flicker across the polished surfaces, tracing the curves of instruments designed for one purpose: to reach inside the asteroids and reveal the treasures hidden there. Each tool rests neatly in its place, as if waiting for your touch, each handle smooth, each surface purposeful. You run your fingers along a cold, metallic edge and feel the careful thought behind every groove and joint. The drills come first to your attention. Small and precise, they rotate slowly, teeth glinting under the ship's soft lights. You imagine them burrowing into rock that has floated through space for billions of years, slowly grinding away to reveal veins of rare minerals. You are aware of the contrast, the hardness of the asteroid and the gentle persistence of the drill. It is a delicate dance, a balance between patience and pressure, much like pressing your hands into warm water, letting the current guide you, rather than forcing your way through. Next, you notice the chisels and cutting tools. They are simple in shape but complex in purpose. Each one has been engineered to match the different textures and densities of space rock. You hold a chisel, feeling its weight in your palm. It is neither heavy nor light, exactly what you need to feel every vibration as it meets resistance. When you work with it, you learn to listen. The subtle difference between a chip and a crack, the tiny echo that tells you whether the stone will give way easily or fight back. Your mind softens, tuning to the rhythm of material responding to careful attention. Sensors line the walls, blinking softly with a pulse that feels almost alive. They measure density, temperature, and even the faint magnetic fields within the asteroid. Their data is a whisper, translating the silent language of stone into numbers and signals you can understand. You lean close to a screen, watching as it maps out the layers of the asteroid, like peeling back invisible pages of an ancient book. You sense the story embedded in the rock, each mineral a word, each vein a sentence. And through this story, the tools become not just instruments, but extensions of your own curiosity, allowing you to read the asteroid's hidden thoughts. Pumps and collection devices hum nearby. They are quieter, less glamorous than drills or chisels, but equally important. They handle dust and debris, siphoning fragments into containment units where nothing is wasted. You watch particles floating in microgravity, drifting slowly toward the collectors like leaves caught in a gentle stream. The process is almost meditative. The ship itself seems to breathe, moving with the ebb and flow of extraction, its metal walls vibrating faintly under the soft, constant rhythm of machinery at work. You realize that every movement, no matter how small, is part of a carefully choreographed system, a ballet of engineering and science. Safety protocols glow softly on panels, reminding you that even in this serene space, precision and caution are essential. You press buttons that release stabilizers, calibrate instruments, and adjust the angle of drills. Each action feels deliberate, slow, like a careful exhale. You notice how the repetition of these movements brings a kind of calm focus, a meditative awareness of the body and mind moving together with purpose. There is comfort in the structure, in knowing that each step has been considered, tested, and refined to harmonize with both human hands and the unyielding stone of the asteroid. You pick up a scanning wand, a sleek instrument that maps chemical composition in a whisper of light. It glides over surfaces, sending invisible waves through the rock. You feel a quiet fascination as colors and patterns emerge on your screen, revealing hidden pockets of metals and compounds. The wand becomes an extension of your senses, translating what cannot be felt into shapes and hues your eyes and mind can understand. The asteroid is no longer just a massive rock. It is a living puzzle, a record of cosmic history, and you are gently unlocking its secrets one careful sweep at a time. There is rhythm in every gesture, in the rotation of drills, in the tap of chisels, in the slow drift of collected particles. You notice your own heartbeat synchronizing with this cadence, a subtle echo of the universe's own gentle pulse. Time seems to stretch, expanding to match the slow work of extraction. You become acutely aware of presence, of movement, of care. The tools are not just machinery. They are partners in a dialogue between human curiosity and the silent language of space. Even the smallest devices hold fascination. Tweezers that remove microscopic fragments, cameras that capture surfaces in fine detail, and robotic arms that extend delicately into crevices. Each one has been designed to handle something fragile, something precious. You watch a tiny fragment drift into a collection chamber, and in that moment, the care and precision of your tools feel almost sacred. You sense the invisible threads that connect human intention, mechanical design, and the enduring patience of cosmic materials. Everything moves in harmony, a soft symphony of discovery. As you explore further, you notice how the tools transform not only the asteroid, but your perception of it. What once seemed unyielding and distant now becomes approachable, understandable, and even intimate. You feel a quiet respect for the balance between force and finesse, between curiosity and restraint. The work is slow, deliberate, and in that slowness there is clarity. There is beauty in understanding how something so vast and ancient responds to the gentle touch of tools shaped by knowledge and care. You take a final, lingering look around the workspace, feeling the gentle vibrations of drills, the quiet hum of pumps, and the steady pulse of lights and sensors. Everything is aligned, every device a note in the soft symphony of labor and discovery. You sense the invisible connection that ties you to the asteroid, to the tools, to the very process of exploration. The space around you feels alive in its subtlety, and your role within it feels both humble and essential. And as you step back, letting your hands rest for a moment, you feel a quiet anticipation for what comes next. The hidden depths of the asteroid, the treasures waiting patiently, the stories yet to be revealed by these tools that have become extensions of your own curiosity, and perhaps even your own calm. The journey is far from over, and the next discovery awaits just beyond the next layer of stone, soft and silent, ready to unfold. Beneath your quiet gaze, the asteroid seems almost alive. Its surface, pocked with craters and streaked with shadows, holds secrets from the earliest days of the solar system. You feel the stillness, the patience embedded in its stony skin. Here nothing rushes. The materials inside, the metals and minerals that will one day build machines and dreams, lie waiting for careful hands and thoughtful minds. You imagine the delicate touch of advanced technology, designed not to dominate, but to listen. Tiny lasers trace the contours of the rock, warming it just enough to loosen bonds that have held atoms together for billions of years. You see the subtle shimmer of copper, the faint silver gleam of nickel, and the deep, quiet glint of platinum. Each element has its own rhythm, its own way of reflecting light, of responding to gentle coaxing. Watching this, you sense a slow choreography unfolding, a ballet of energy and matter, precise yet natural. The first step is melting, not a roar of fire, not an explosion of heat, but a gradual, almost reverent warming. You picture the asteroid's interior, black and dense, slowly softening under carefully measured energy. Layers of stone give way, revealing pockets of valuable minerals like hidden pools in a deep forest. You can almost hear the whisper of atoms moving, sliding past each other in their first fluid dances. This is science as art as meditation. You feel your own breathing synchronize with the rhythm of this transformation. Slow and even. Slicing comes next. Imagine a thin blade of energy, cleaner than any metal, gliding through the rock with perfect precision. It does not crush. It does not tear. It separates the useful from the inert, the luminous metals from the darker matrices. Each cut is deliberate, a whisper of intention in the vast silence of space. As you watch, you begin to see the asteroid not as a cold rock, but as a carefully composed symphony of matter, layers stacked and folded over time, waiting for discovery. Extraction is gentle, almost intimate. Tiny robotic arms move with the precision of a pianist's fingers. They grasp, rotate, and lift, selecting each element with care. Platinum, iron, cobalt, and lithium are gathered one by one, as if you were picking pebbles from a stream. Each atom is treated with respect, as if it has a story to tell about the origins of stars, the heat of creation, and the slow shaping of worlds. You feel a quiet awe at the intelligence behind this process, human and machine working together to read the language of matter. You notice the rhythm of repetition. Melt, slice, extract. Melt, slice, extract. There is a calm consistency to it, a meditative cadence that mirrors your own heartbeat. Science here is not frantic. It is a slow conversation with the universe, a negotiation with time itself. You feel your thoughts settling, your mind softening, as you follow each movement, each careful gesture. Even the shadows seem to join in this rhythm, stretching and bending with the machinery's gentle hum. As materials are gathered, their futures begin to shimmer before your mind's eye. Lithium will become batteries that store sunlight, powering homes far from the grid. Cobalt and nickel will travel into spacecraft, helping them glide across the void. Platinum may catalyze reactions that create clean energy, silently transforming the world. You see these elements not as raw substances, but as the seeds of possibility. Each one carries potential, a quiet promise of progress that is nurtured through careful, deliberate science. The technology itself is fascinating in its subtlety. You imagine the sensors, scanning at atomic resolution, translating patterns of light and vibration into instructions for robotic helpers. Each decision is based on understanding the precise temperature at which a metal softens, the angle at which a slice must be made, the force that allows extraction without fracture. It is a dance of calculation and intuition, a partnership between human insight and machine accuracy. And in this careful dialogue, you feel the presence of patience, the quiet insistence that knowledge, like gold, is best revealed slowly. Even the dust that drifts away from these operations carries stories. Tiny particles, too small to hold, swirl in microgravity, reflecting dim starlight in scattered sparks. They are remnants of ancient collisions, reminders of the asteroid's journey through space. Watching them, you feel connected to time itself, to billions of years of cosmic wandering, compressed into delicate, weightless motes. Each particle is a letter in a story written long before humanity arrived, now being read softly, reverently, by your mind. You notice how light plays across the surfaces. It glints off freshly exposed metals, catching your attention with fleeting brilliance. The asteroid's secrets unfold like petals, slow and deliberate. You imagine reaching out, not with hands, but with awareness, feeling the temperature gradients, the gentle vibration of machinery, the silent rhythm of matter shifting. There is a balance here between action and observation, a delicate harmony where every intervention has meaning, every pause is intentional. Sound itself is transformed. In the vacuum of space, there is no crash, no bang. Vibrations travel through machinery and asteroid alike, subtle signals that you almost hear as whispers. The process becomes auditory as much as visual, a soft symphony of clicks, hums, and gentle shifts. You lean into this quiet music, allowing it to lull your mind into a reflective state. Even the gaps between sounds feel significant, moments of emptiness where the universe seems to breathe along with you. And through it all, the feeling of wonder never fades. You are aware of the fragility of these operations, the precision required to prevent loss, the awareness that a single miscalculation could change everything. Yet in this fragility, there is beauty. The process is not only about taking from the asteroid. It is about understanding it, listening to it, allowing it to reveal itself in its own time. You sense that progress, when it is tender and mindful, does not destroy, it coexists. As you watch the final stages of extraction, the elements are separated and prepared for transport. They gleam in trays, orderly and expectant, ready to leave the quiet asteroid behind. Each one is a silent witness to the story you have shared. A story of heat and patience, precision and care, human ingenuity and cosmic time. You feel a gentle satisfaction, a deep calm, knowing that knowledge and material both have their place, their purpose, within this delicate dance. And yet, the process is not complete. The asteroid still holds mysteries in deeper layers, secrets that might not be revealed for years, perhaps decades. You sense the continuation of this journey, a bridge between what has been discovered and what remains hidden. The quiet science of extraction leaves space for curiosity, for reflection, and for wonder at what comes next. You close your eyes for a moment, breathing in the gentle rhythm of melted rock, sliced stone, and lifted metal. The hum of machinery, the shimmer of elements, the whisper of atoms. All of it settles softly into your mind. And as you drift on this meditative current, your thoughts begin to wander toward the transformations that these materials will make possible. The worlds they may touch, the light they may carry. The asteroid's surface lies calm once more, though beneath it, life-giving secrets pulse softly, waiting for another gentle touch, another patient hand, another quiet dance of science and discovery. And in that silence, you feel the invitation to imagine what becomes possible when knowledge and care meet. A question that lingers gently, leading you to wonder about the next stage of this unfolding cosmic journey. You float above the curve of the Earth, the planet unfolding beneath you like a fragile watercolor painting, edges blurred by the thin layer of atmosphere. Each mountain and river, each cityscape glowing faintly in the dark, carries stories of life, struggle, and ambition. You notice how small it all seems from up here, yet simultaneously, how enormous the responsibility feels. Gravity tugs gently at your chest, reminding you that this weight is not just physical. It is moral, ethical, and unspoken, pressing into your consciousness with every heartbeat. As you drift in the quiet hum of the spacecraft, your mind settles on the metals you carry, remnants of distant asteroid rocks now within reach. Iron, nickel, platinum, each one with the potential to reshape industries, energy systems, even economies back on Earth. In their silvery sheen, you see possibility shimmering, and with it, a whisper of caution. These materials could light cities, construct new technologies, or enrich a few while leaving others untouched. The thought floats beside you like a silent satellite. Power is never neutral. You imagine the flow of electrons, from these metals to devices in human hands, a chain reaction that starts here in the void and ends in the warm kitchens, laboratories, and factories below. Your body feels weightless, yet the weight of consequence presses down, gentle but insistent. You inhale slowly, letting your lungs expand as if trying to make room for the immensity of this responsibility. The rhythm of your breath matches the orbiting Earth, a silent conversation between your mind and the planet that spins patiently beneath you. The soft pull of gravity becomes a metaphor, stretching across the vacuum. It is a constant reminder that no matter how far you drift from Earth, no matter the distance or the silence, you remain tethered. Not by rope or cable, but by thought, by consequence, by the subtle knowledge that your actions ripple outward. Just as a stone dropped into a pond sends widening circles, each experiment, each choice you make here travels home. The metals are inert, cold, unfeeling. Yet they carry the weight of human hope and human error alike. Your thoughts wander to the lives intertwined with this orbiting mission. Engineers working in distant rooms, technicians adjusting equipment with meticulous care, scientists debating the ethics of extraction. Each one contributes to the silent choreography that makes your presence here possible. You feel the intimacy of connection, an invisible tether to countless others, whose hands and minds reach across thousands of kilometers. And in that web of humanity, the weight you carry is shared, diffused, but never entirely lifted. You look back at the Earth again, noting the delicate curvature and the thin, luminous veil of the atmosphere. Storms swirl over oceans like brushstrokes, rivers glint like silver threads, and lights from cities pulse like the quiet heartbeat of civilization. You sense a fragility, a vulnerability, yet also a resilience, a persistence that has endured for millennia. The metals you hold, mined from the remnants of long-dead stars, are gifts from the cosmos. Yet they are reminders. Every gift carries responsibility, and every advancement carries a shadow. Your mind drifts further, imagining future generations looking at these metals not just as tools, but as symbols. Symbols of ambition, ingenuity, and sometimes caution. Will these resources ignite innovation, or will they highlight inequity? Will the technologies they enable bring comfort and knowledge, or complexity and challenge? Even as you wonder, the Earth continues its slow, unwavering rotation, indifferent to human calculation yet patient with human curiosity. You run a finger over the surface of a small sample, smooth and cold against your skin. In its texture, you feel the history of collisions, the ancient dance of celestial bodies that delivered it here. Each atom is a record, a memory of a universe older than time as you know it. You sense the subtle resonance of this history, vibrating quietly in your fingertips. And with each pulse, you feel more deeply the duality of your task. To explore, to discover, to respect. Even in this weightless moment, your body feels gravity's echo in thought. You understand that Earth is not just a destination below, but a conversation, ongoing and unceasing. Your presence here, among rocks older than cities, older than continents, is part of that dialogue. And as you stare down at the living mosaic of blue and green, you feel a quiet awe, mingled with humility. The metals could transform worlds, yet the more profound transformation begins within you, the awareness of impact and intention. The quiet hum of the spacecraft seems to mirror your contemplations, each vibration a gentle reminder of connection. You imagine the Earth's surface responding subtly to the actions taken in orbit, unseen but present. Rivers may flow differently, industries may evolve, and minds may awaken in ways that trace back to this very moment. In the gentle sway of this awareness, you find a meditative rhythm, a pulse that is neither hurried nor stagnant, but deliberate and reflective. And as your thoughts linger on the delicate interplay of action and consequence, you feel a calm clarity. The weight you carry is not solely a burden. It is also a bridge between discovery and responsibility, between the metals from distant asteroids and the lives that will touch them on Earth. You sense the soft pull of gravity, not as a limitation, but as a gentle guide, a whispering hand pointing toward understanding. Even as the Earth turns beneath you, the questions remain open, delicate, inviting. How will your discoveries ripple through the lives below? What subtle changes will take root, unseen but profound? And as you drift in the quiet orbit, suspended between cosmos and home, the answer feels less important than the awareness itself. The recognition that you are part of something far greater, a constant, delicate dance that will continue long after this moment. The universe whispers of possibilities, vast, expansive, and full of quiet promise. You lie back, letting the soft hum of the world fade away. In the stillness, you imagine a future, not so far from now, where the stars are no longer distant, but just within reach. You breathe in deeply, the rhythm of your breath matching the endless pulse of the cosmos. Above, the stars shine, as always, but beneath the surface of their light, something is changing. In the quiet depths of space, asteroids drift, laden with treasures. Metals that hum with potential, minerals that sing with promise, resources that could fuel the growth of Earth itself. You are no longer bound to the soil beneath your feet. You are in the dance of a future where humanity reaches beyond, reaching toward the stars. As technology evolves, so too does our understanding of the universe. Once, these distant rocks were mysteries, untouchable and hidden, orbiting in their quiet, lonely paths. Now, we've begun to understand them not as cosmic strangers, but as valuable neighbors, sentinels of possibility, just waiting to be explored. The tools we need to reach them have started to take shape, slowly at first, like the first seeds of a new idea, and soon they will bloom into something magnificent. The prospect of mining asteroids is not just a dream, it is becoming real. Machines are being designed to travel through the darkness, to land on these drifting rocks, and to harvest what they hold. Imagine, just for a moment, the quiet sound of machinery, working with gentle precision, turning stone into substance, gathering metals, water, and rare elements that can power everything from spaceships to cities. Your mind wanders to the impact this could have on Earth. The Earth is a living being, and like any living being, it needs resources to grow, to evolve. The minerals and metals of our planet are finite, but space is boundless, its resources as infinite as the stars themselves. These distant asteroids, full of platinum, nickel, and other precious materials, could be the key to solving the resource shortages we face. They could fuel a new era of technology, one where Earth's growth is no longer limited by the fragile boundary of our own planet. Space mining could unlock a new frontier of exploration, where the materials of the universe are not just studied but put to use. Perhaps, one day, asteroids will serve as fuel stations for distant voyages, or their minerals will be used to create structures in space itself. Imagine space cities, floating gently in the vast expanse, built from the very rocks that once seemed unreachable. You can see it now, shimmering in your mind's eye, a city of glass and metal, a new home for humanity, perched between Earth and the stars. Yet, even as you dream of these possibilities, a quiet question lingers. What does it mean to mine the heavens? For all its promise, space mining is not without its challenges. The technology, though advancing, is still in its infancy. There are unknowns: how to efficiently extract resources from asteroids, how to transport them across vast distances, how to protect the fragile balance of space itself. And beyond the technology, there are questions of ethics. Who owns the resources of space? How do we share this bounty without repeating the mistakes of the past? These questions hover like stars on the edge of your thoughts, quietly glowing, waiting to be addressed. And yet, in the midst of uncertainty, there is a growing sense of hope. For every challenge, there is a solution. For every obstacle, there is innovation. Humanity has always thrived by turning the unknown into the known, by reaching into the darkness and bringing back the light. Perhaps, in time, we will find the answers to these questions, just as we have found the answers to so many others. The future of space mining is, in many ways, a reflection of humanity itself. Uncertain, yes, but filled with potential. It is the dream of reaching beyond, of connecting with the vastness of the universe, not with fear, but with the curiosity and wonder that has always driven us forward. The future is not a distant place. It is a journey, one that begins here, in the quiet of your mind, where the seeds of exploration are planted and begin to grow. As you drift deeper into this thought, the world of space mining stretches before you, vast and full of possibilities. A new frontier for humanity, a horizon where resources are no longer limited by the boundaries of Earth, but are as limitless as the stars themselves. The question of what comes next lingers softly in your thoughts, inviting you to wonder, what will humanity discover when it reaches beyond the stars? And as you fall into a quiet sleep, a thought settles in your mind. There is no end to the exploration of the universe, only the next step into the unknown. The hum of machinery fades into the distance, and for a moment, there is only the silence of the cosmos, vast and infinite. You stand there, looking out at the asteroid that looms in front of you, a rock of ancient history, its surface rough and unyielding, yet filled with possibilities. But this is not what fills your mind, nor what moves your heart. No, it is the quiet hum of the humans around you, those who make this journey not just possible, but meaningful. You breathe in deeply, the air crisp and recycled, and think of the people you've met along the way. It's not the machines or the sleek technology that has built this effort. It is the quiet determination of those who work with you, side by side, making dreams come true, not for themselves, but for something greater, something that echoes across the universe. Asteroids, you realize, are not just chunks of rock or distant objects from the far reaches of space. They are like mirrors, reflecting the dreams, hopes, and quiet stories of the people who reach for them. Each piece of cosmic dust is intertwined with a human story, a deep yearning to connect, to explore, to find meaning beyond the ordinary. You can almost feel the pulse of it, the steady rhythm of your fellow miners, their steady hands and quiet voices, their thoughts all focused on the task at hand. In a way, It's as though you're all part of a larger machine, one that moves not with gears and oil but with shared purpose and silent understanding. You look at the others, and they look back at you, and there is a wordless recognition, a knowing. You are all here for the same reason: to be a part of something bigger, something that no single person can accomplish alone. Mining asteroids is a strange, intimate thing. It's not just about harvesting materials for a brighter future. It's about shaping that future together, with your hands, your sweat, your quiet dedication. And each day, as you return to the station, you find that the stars seem a little closer. You're no longer just an observer of the cosmos. You're part of it, connected to the vastness of space through the bonds you've created with those around you. It's the human element, you realize, the very thing that separates us from the void. It's what makes a seemingly impossible task possible. Without the people, without their collective energy and wisdom, the machines would simply be machines, the asteroids nothing but rocks floating in space. It is the human touch that brings life to the work, the quiet conversations over coffee in the break room, the shared laughter after a long day, the stories of home and dreams of what might be waiting at the end of the journey. You think of the long shifts and the quiet solitude of the work, how you've become attuned to the small things, the way your partner taps their foot when they're thinking, the way someone hums quietly as they calibrate the mining tools, the soft murmur of voices as you discuss the next phase of the mission. The noise, too, becomes a part of the rhythm, a background hum of existence in a place where silence otherwise reigns. And then there are the moments of connection that come unexpectedly. The conversations that start with a simple, "How's it going?" but spiral into shared philosophies about life, the universe, and the meaning of it all. There's no rush here. Time is different in space, stretched out like the stars themselves. The clock seems to lose its hold, and you find yourself slipping into a slower pace, one that leaves room for contemplation, for thought. Your thoughts drift back to the work ahead. The machine's always busy, always calculating, but you know it's the people who make the magic happen. The asteroid is cold and distant, but it's more than just a collection of minerals to extract. It's a stage where human lives unfold, each one a small piece in the grand puzzle of exploration. And as you work together, side by side, you realize that these stones are not just resources. They are symbols of all that you've built together, the steps you've taken to move beyond the familiar and into the unknown. The quiet whispers of the crew tell a story of their own, a story you are all a part of. You see them for who they are, not just as miners, but as dreamers, as explorers, as humans who have come so far to touch the stars and make them your own. You know that no one person could do this alone. The effort is shared, and in that shared labor, something beautiful emerges, something greater than the sum of its parts. And then, as the days pass, you realize that it's not just the work that's important. It's the journey itself, the small, everyday acts of human connection, of cooperation, of shared purpose. It's in the quiet moments when no one is speaking but everyone is understanding, when hands work together in a silent dance of precision and care. It's in the look exchanged across the room, the nod of recognition that says, "I'm here with you. We're in this together." You think about the future, the worlds that await beyond this small rock in the dark, and how the work you've done here will carry forward, echoing through time. And you know, with a certainty that brings you peace, that the true treasure of this journey is not the minerals you mine, but the connections you've made. These relationships, these quiet, unspoken bonds, are the true wealth of this venture, the human element. It's the thing that holds it all together, the thread that binds every step of the way. And in that, you find your purpose. As the asteroid spins slowly in the distance, you realize that you are not just mining a rock. You are mining the future, one human connection at a time. The hum of the station grows louder in your ears, but it's not a sound of urgency. It's the hum of life, of people working together, dreaming together, reaching together. And with every step you take, the future feels just a little bit closer, just a little bit more possible. You float in the stillness of space, surrounded by the infinite expanse, where time itself seems to stretch and bend. The stars are distant, quiet witnesses to the questions that arise in the quiet spaces of your mind. The vastness of it all makes you feel small, yet somehow more connected than ever before, as if the universe itself is a quiet companion, awaiting your thoughts. In this silence, you begin to ask the deeper questions, the ones that do not have easy answers. Your thoughts drift to the distant asteroids that circle the sun, those ancient travelers that have carried the same composition for billions of years. Some scientists see them as treasure chests, filled with precious metals and resources that could be used to fuel humanity's future. They speak of extracting these resources, refining them, and bringing them back to Earth or to other space colonies. It's an alluring vision. The stars, once so far away, now within reach, offering up their hidden wealth. But the stars also offer something else, something quieter. They ask you to consider the space between things, the empty spaces that are so full of meaning. The asteroids, these ancient bodies, have existed for eons, untouched and undisturbed by human hands. In their simplicity, they are a link to the beginnings of our solar system, a reflection of a time when Earth was nothing but a gathering of dust and gas. These bodies have witnessed the birth of planets, the formation of stars, and the slow, steady passage of time. Should we reach out and take from them? Should we harvest their secrets, their riches, as if they were ours to claim? The silence of space makes it clear that there is no rush, no pressing need to hurry. And yet, there are voices in the world, voices that speak of scarcity, of the growing needs of a civilization that stretches ever onward, ever forward. Resources on Earth are finite. We have taken from the planet for millennia, and now we turn our gaze to the stars, hoping to find a solution to our growing hunger. But even in this search for solutions, there is a quiet hesitation, a pause that carries weight. What does it mean to extract from the universe? What does it mean to take something that was never meant for us, that has existed in its untouched state for eons? The silence seems to echo with this question, and you feel its reverberations deep within you. The ethical considerations are complex, and they pull at the fabric of your understanding. There is the question of who owns the asteroids, who has the right to decide how to use them. The quiet, unspoken truth is that, for all our advancements, we have yet to fully understand the moral implications of our actions in space. We are explorers, yes, but we are also consumers. And in this vast, uncharted territory, our footprint is still small, but it grows with every mission, with every rocket launched into the heavens. In the distance, the asteroids drift silently, unaware of the discussions taking place in the minds of those who gaze upon them. They are old, older than humanity itself, and in their silence, they seem to ask a question that you are not yet ready to answer. Do we have the right to disturb their peace? You feel the weight of this question as if it is a whisper carried on the solar winds, reaching your mind and heart. The silence of space is not just empty. It is full of history, full of stories that have yet to be told. And yet, there is a temptation to ignore that silence, to impose our will upon the stars as if they are waiting to be transformed into something useful, something profitable. But as you float through the vastness, you feel something else. A sense of humility. The universe is not something to be conquered or claimed. It is something to be understood, to be approached with reverence, as one might approach an ancient monument. Quietly, respectfully, with the awareness that our time here is but a blink in the eye of the cosmos. The asteroids, the moons, the planets, they are part of a larger story, a story that began long before we arrived, and will continue long after we are gone. There is a calm, deep within you, as you allow these thoughts to settle. The ethical considerations of space exploration and resource extraction are not simple. They are not questions with easy answers. They are, instead, invitations to think more deeply about our place in the universe, about the ways in which we relate to the Earth and the stars, and about the legacy we wish to leave behind. And so, as the stars flicker above you, distant and bright, you hold this question gently in your mind. It is a question that does not need to be answered right away. It is enough to simply ask it, to let it float alongside you in the vastness of space. As you gaze out into the cosmos, you feel a deep sense of wonder, but also of responsibility. Perhaps the universe is not just a place to explore, but a place to care for, to protect. And as you drift in this quiet space, the universe seems to stretch out before you, vast and open, full of possibility, but also full of mystery. The stars, in their silence, offer no answers. They only ask that you continue to wonder, continue to reflect. And as your thoughts turn gently inward, you realize that the answers may not lie in the taking, but in the understanding. The universe, in its quiet expanse, asks not for us to conquer it, but for us to learn from it, to listen to its stories, and to honor the delicate balance that exists between all things. You stand beneath the vast sky, the stars piercing the night, each one a silent testament to the eternal rhythm of the cosmos. The night is still, and for a moment, everything feels as it should, balanced. The heavens above, the earth below, and the work you've undertaken in the space between. You've come a long way, from the bright promise of asteroid mining to this reflective point, where each new discovery feels as much a question as an answer. Your thoughts drift to the asteroids, ancient travelers, relics of the early solar system, carrying the secrets of the universe's birth. They hold precious metals, rare elements, resources that could sustain humanity for millennia. They are the building blocks for our future, the cornerstone of technological advancement. And yet, as you consider their raw beauty, their untouched wilderness, a part of you wonders, at what cost does progress come? In your work, you see a reflection of a greater truth. Just as a single pebble, when dropped into a pond, sends ripples across its surface, so too does every action we take. Every resource we extract, every technology we develop, every step forward, send ripples through the delicate fabric of the universe. You felt it in your bones, the subtle weight of this knowledge. What if the work you do, the mining of distant worlds, the exploitation of cosmic resources, somehow tips the balance of the cosmos? What if humanity's reach extends beyond its grasp, beyond what is sustainable, beyond what is responsible? There's a quiet serenity in the stars, yet there's also a gentle reminder that the universe is a delicate dance, one where every step matters. In the grand ballet of existence, you are not the only player. The stars, the planets, the very forces that govern the laws of nature, they too perform in their own intricate choreography. They move with purpose, with grace, with a wisdom beyond our understanding. And yet, it is our human nature to seek to understand it all, to control it, to bend it to our will. We look to the stars with hope, to what we might learn and harness for our own survival. But in doing so, we must ask ourselves, how do we avoid disrupting the natural rhythm of the universe? How can we honor the beauty and balance of the cosmos, even as we strive to expand, to explore, to evolve? You think of the ancient civilizations who gazed at the same stars you do now, who sought to understand their place in the universe. They saw the stars as gods, as forces of nature to be revered, not conquered. They felt the weight of their existence under the same sky, their questions echoing through the centuries. What would they have thought of our ambitions? Would they have seen our quest for knowledge as a natural progression, a necessary step in the evolution of life? Or would they have warned us of the dangers of losing sight of our connection to the cosmos? The stars, in their vast and silent glory, are indifferent to our human struggles. They shine with the same ancient light, their energy flowing out into the universe, unburdened by the concerns of civilization. And yet, as humans, we cannot help but imbue them with meaning, to seek purpose in their celestial dance. It is in this search for meaning that we find ourselves, that we find our place in the grand scheme of things. But with each new discovery, with each new technology, each new step toward the stars, we must remember that the universe is not just a collection of resources to be used at our will. It is a delicate web of interconnected forces, where each action, no matter how small, creates a ripple that affects everything around it. The mining of asteroids, the exploitation of distant worlds, is not without consequence. Each step forward must be taken with caution, with reverence for the delicate balance that exists between all things. As you reflect on the balance of progress and preservation, you feel the weight of responsibility settle upon you. You are part of something much larger than yourself, part of the ongoing story of humanity's relationship with the cosmos. And with that comes a responsibility, not only to move forward, but to do so with care, with mindfulness, with respect for the very forces that make life possible. You wonder, then, what it means to move forward, to explore, to innovate, to expand beyond the confines of Earth and into the stars. But in doing so, do we lose something essential? Do we risk forgetting the wisdom of those who came before us, those who understood that the pursuit of progress must always be tempered by the need for preservation? How do we balance the desire for discovery with the necessity of stewardship? The answer, perhaps, is not in striving for control, but in embracing humility, in recognizing that, for all our intellect and ambition, we are but a small part of something far greater. The cosmos does not belong to us. It is not ours to dominate or conquer. It is ours to understand, to learn from, to coexist with. And as we take each new step into the vast unknown, we must remember that our progress is not just a measure of how far we've come, but of how gently we tread. You look up once more at the stars, their light warm and ancient. It is a comforting thought that no matter how far we travel, no matter what new frontiers we reach, the stars will always be there, watching over us, a quiet reminder of the balance we must strive to maintain. They are not just beacons of hope, but of caution, urging us to move forward with care, to recognize the delicate balance that must be maintained between progress and preservation. And so, you wonder, as humanity looks to the stars and reaches for the future, can we do so in a way that honors the harmony of the universe? Can we move forward without losing our connection to the greater whole, without tipping the balance that sustains all life? Perhaps the key lies not in pushing forward with unrelenting force, but in finding a way to move in rhythm with the universe, to dance with it, not against it.